This is from Lars Lofgren, friend of the podcast. He's been on twice. He said, the European Commission has lost the effing SEO plot. They just announced an investigation into Google for taking action against Parasite SEO. I thought to myself, surely they're not attacking Google for taking action against Parasite SEO spam. If anything, Google hasn't done nearly enough in this space. They cannot possibly be this effing stupid. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. They are indeed that effing stupid. The EU is defending media companies that sell out their brands to spam the internet. They clearly haven't read any of my posts. Lars Lofgren exposed this massive Parasite SEO ring on Forbes. This was going super viral last year. So he continued writing. And if you don't know what Parasite SEO is, I'm going to give some deeper examples in a couple of moments, but it's using a website that is very easily able to rank on Google to just insert your links for keywords that you care about. So you get a post on Forbes and the post targets the keywords that you care about, and then the post has your affiliate links. Or you post or comment on Reddit using keywords that you care about. That shows on Google, and these posts and comments recommend your brand. So Lars says, Google is my favorite punching bag at the moment. Well, maybe right behind Reddit. It's 50-50, but on this, I'm siding with Google. If a regulator wants to go after Google, it should be about how Google crushed all the independent sites with the helpful content update. This was their core algorithm update that destroyed a lot of small independent blogs, especially affiliate blogs that were depending on affiliate revenue. Lars says, or Google's flagrant copyright violations in AI overviews. But slapping Google for taking manual action on Parasite SEO programs? What in the bloody hell? Now I have to side with all the tech bros yelling about how the EU regulators are out of control. Gosh darn it. So Lars shares a screenshot from the Wall Street Journal post on this, and Lars highlights these passages. The commission said Thursday that it is concerned that Google might be demoting news media and other publishers' websites and content in search results when they include content from third-party commercial partners. And here is a quote, "We will investigate to ensure that news publishers are not losing out on important revenues at a difficult time for the industry, and to ensure Google complies with the Digital Markets Act." Jackie Chu, another friend of the podcast, we had an episode together a few weeks ago. He reshared on X Google's recent article, which I'm going to read. It's called Defending Search Users from Parasite SEO Spam. And under that, he shows a parasite who has gotten through the cracks. He says, valiant effort, Google. And if you Google best CBD oil, Forbes 10 best CBD oils of 2025, which was published October 14th, 2025, and it's ranking number 1. And I went and I looked at this article. There are M dashes everywhere. The copy is clearly written with ChatGPT, and it's just a clear example. There's affiliate links. However, it does say at the top of the article, commissions we earn from partner links on this page do not affect our opinions or evaluations. Our editorial content is based on thorough research and guidance from the Forbes Health Advisory Board. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that, but it does acknowledge partner links. It acknowledges revenue from partner links on the page. But again, to go back to what I said, it is just clearly ChatGPT written. Clearly ChatGPT written. It is really, really obvious. Even the meta description says, discover the best CBD oils in 2025. If you ask ChatGPT to write a lazy meta description, that's what it's going to give. And then Charles Float shared this about the EU antitrust investigation. Charles Float, another friend of the podcast who was on also a couple of weeks ago. That was such a great episode. Thanks again to Charles for coming on. That was great. Jackie Chu's episode was awesome. Lars Lofgren's multiple episodes were great, and he's going to come on again. Yeah, awesome people. So Charles said the EU just launched an antitrust investigation into Google's site reputation abuse policy, probably the most misguided search policy ever released. Not allowing any third-party content is stupid, as if outsourcing has never existed, and the enforcement was inconsistent at best. This was public relations and propaganda to bully publishers into compliance, not to protect users. If they really wanted to protect users, they wouldn't have rolled out AI overviews with no fact-checking or verification. This is going to be very interesting, though. Google will likely have to reveal even more of its search secrets in court if they want to defend this, or they'll have to cancel the policy entirely in the EU. One way or another, this is at least a small win for the publishers and SEOs that tried to monetize the exact same way Google does, with monetization on top of third-party content. And Charles said, FYI, Google has already replied directly stating that this is an anti-parasite SEO policy, even though they only address paid parasites, and that the investigation is misguided. And so this is the Defending Search Users from Parasite SEO Spam by Pandu Nayak, who is Google's chief scientist, Google Search's chief scientist. Pandu Nayak is very well known in the SEO world, and he wrote this article. Defending Search Users from Parasite SEO Spam came out yesterday. The investigation announced today into our anti-spam efforts is misguided and risks harming millions of European users. People come to Google because they want the best, most relevant results, and they don't want to sift through spam. Google Search's policy against spam exists for one reason: to protect people from deceptive, low-quality content and scams, and the shady tactics that promote them. We've worked together with the European Commission on a range of efforts to protect European consumers, including working to fight scams under the Digital Services Act. Unfortunately, the investigation announced today into our anti-spam efforts is misguided and risks harming millions of European users. And the investigation is without merit. A German court has already dismissed a similar claim, ruling that our anti-spam policy was valid, reasonable, and applied consistently. Google's anti-spam policy is essential to how we fight deceptive pay-for-play tactics that degrade our results. Google Search is built to show trustworthy results, and we are deeply concerned about any effort that would hurt the quality of our results and interfere with how we rank websites. So here's a more in-depth explanation about Parasite SEO, as I said I would give at the beginning of this episode. Pandu writes, several years ago, we heard loud and clear from users that they were seeing degraded and spammy search results due to a growing trend of Parasite SEO, also known as site reputation abuse. Here's how it works. A spammer may pay a publisher to show its content and links on the publisher's website, taking advantage of the publisher's good rankings in an effort to trick users into clicking on low-quality content. For example, a scammy payday loan site might pay a respected website to publish its content, including links to its offerings. We consider this to be spam because both our users and our systems think they are dealing with a trusted website when in reality they are dealing with a scammer. This practice comes in many flavors, but the essence is always the same: a pay-to-play scheme designed to fool our ranking systems and to fool users. So in March 2024, we updated our anti-spam policy based on a long-standing principle. A site can't pay or use deceptive measures to improve its rankings in search. If we allow this behavior, letting sites use sketchy tactics to boost their ranking, instead of investing in creating high-quality content, it would enable bad actors to displace sites that don't use those spammy tactics, and it would degrade search for everybody. Our anti-spam policy helps level the playing field so that websites using deceptive tactics don't outrank websites competing on the merits with their own content. We've heard from many of these smaller creators that they support our work to fight Parasite SEO. That's actually what Lars was talking about. So Pandu writes, we take the quality of our results and our work to fight spam in search extremely seriously. We enforce our anti-spam policy through a fair and rigorous review process, including a path for appeal. And the last paragraph, the European Union's Digital Markets Act is already making search less helpful for European businesses and users. This surprising new investigation risks rewarding bad actors and degrading the quality of search results. European users deserve better, and we will continue to defend the policies that let people trust the results they see in search. All right, so what are the takeaways from all of this? I got takeaways for you. Don't worry. I did not come empty-handed. I got takeaways for you. So I looked at SEMrush. I looked at SEMrush data for Forbes, and it turns out that Forbes organic traffic and ranking keywords are down to 2017 levels. They are down to what they were in 2017, especially organic traffic. It is down to what it was in 2017. And it dropped a lot in September 2024 when Google made its site reputation abuse enforcement towards Forbes and other large publishers for Parasite SEO. So you could say that yes, people are getting through the cracks. If you can search best CBD oils and see that Forbes is getting through the cracks, see that Parasite is getting through the cracks. People are getting through the cracks. That's always the case with this sort of stuff. However, Forbes got clapped. They got hit. And they are still down. Adweek wrote at the time, Adweek wrote this when Forbes started the decline. They said Forbes, CNN, and more lose millions as new Google policy tanks affiliate businesses. And that still looks to be the case. So Google is still fighting parasite search engine optimization. Again, some parasites are getting through, but Forbes at least is still down. And this is what I think about parasite SEO, because I talk about it a lot on this podcast. Obvious parasite SEO is good for short-term wins. When you can tell, if you are an SEO and you can tell that something is parasite, that will result in some short-term wins. But here's the thing, less obvious parasite SEO, that results in short-term wins, but it's also good for long-term. The obvious parasite SEO can get caught pretty easily. Less obvious parasite SEO, I mean, I'm not going to admit to anything, but I've seen stuff ranking for years and years and years and years with less obvious parasite SEO. What does less obvious mean? It means it's subtle. So you blend in with the community. Maybe it's Reddit and you're blending in on Reddit. Or you influence a journalist somehow, and that comes across really genuine in an article. That actually happens all the time. And that article ranks for keywords that you care about, and it recommends your brand. And these things last for years, and they influence AI. Now, here's the thing though. Do you have to even engage in parasite SEO? Do you have to go out of your way to have an aged, trustworthy Reddit account or another aged, trustworthy account in a different forum or something, or find a way to bribe some journalists or some authors? Do you have to do that? All right, I am mostly white hat, so that means that I mostly play by the rules. Sometimes I am gray hat. Sometimes, very, very rarely, I am black hat. And that is because I like playing the long game when it comes to search engine optimization and building businesses. I just believe that is where you get the craziest results. That is where you get those hockey stick curves. But my belief is that if you have the fundamentals of SEO set, and I have an article on this on my site, a very short article. It's called Pareto SEO, the 20% of SEO that matters. It's the 20% of SEO that gets 80% of the results. It's on my website, edwardsturm.com. So if you have the fundamentals of SEO, which are in that article, if you improve your product so you're getting positive word of mouth and you're doing cool marketing for your brand, 3 things that everybody with a business should be doing: have the fundamentals of SEO set, improve your products so you get positive word of mouth, do cool marketing, you can still get really far with accidental parasite SEO. So that means your product is improving, you're getting word of mouth, articles are being written about you, people are recommending you on Reddit and other forums and on social media. All of these things rank and influence AI. If you might be doing some cool marketing on social and you just happen to put in keywords there because this ranks really well on Google. Social media is ranking really well on Google, especially YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn. And while this is happening, you are making a better product and doing cool marketing while getting these accidental parasite SEO wins. So you are killing a couple birds with one stone. And then you're also doing SEO on your website, which directly targets customers who are looking for what you are making or what you are selling, what you are offering. This is my method of SEO, compact keywords. If you checked out my SEO course, compact keywords, this is what my method teaches. It's how to target these people who are literally looking for exactly what you offer. They just don't know that you exist. And so they're trying to find a brand to satisfy their purchase intent. They're looking to be a customer of a product or a user of something, or to make a call because they're looking for a service business. They don't know that your brand exists. You target what they are looking for with a bottom of funnel SEO landing page. You show up one on Google. They go, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then they pay for you or use you or call you. And that is what my SEO course, compactkeywords.com, teaches. But you're doing all of these things, and then you're also getting those accidental parasite SEO wins. For me, that's the coolest thing, because you are simultaneously building this long-term brand that is getting those great external results, and you're doing cool marketing, you're bringing in customers, you're bringing in users, you're bringing in warm leads, and you're improving your product and your brand. So that is what I love. But this is still crazy what's happening with the EU and Google trying to fight parasites. It's some really interesting stuff. And credit to Lars Lofgren, Jackie Chu, and Charles Float for sharing their opinions on it. 3 great people. Thank you to all of them for coming on the podcast in the last couple of months. That is everything that I have for you on this episode of the show. This is episode 864 of The Edward Show. This is my daily digital marketing podcast. 864 days in a row doing this crazy podcast. I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather today, but I think this was a good episode. And I'm feeling better after recording this episode. I think this was a good one. So thank you. Thank you if you watched on YouTube or if you listened on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.